Have you ever felt drawn to knowledge from the past or seemed to know things without really knowing how you could know them? Maybe you know things from the future or things that are about to come. Are you maybe one of those that are an older soul on this planet? But before we can dive in as to what an old soul is, let's discuss a little bit what soul is. I would like to ask you, where do you feel the seat of your soul is, the seat of your consciousness? If you let go of all identity, of all forms of who you are, your identity as the person you are on this planet, if you go deeper and deeper within yourself, where do you find the seat of your soul to be? We each will describe the seat of our soul at a different location. But as we progress over time and as we age as soul, the depth and the connectedness to the very source of all that is greater. The further away we feel ourselves from the center of creation, the less powerful we feel. And as a matter of fact, the older souls feel less at the whim of the outer circumstances than younger souls. Understood. When you have a lot of wisdom from past lives under your sleeve, so to speak, you can have more tolerance. You can see things with a greater perspective and you have more compassion because you can see things from a greater perspective. So, a question you can ask yourself is, how often are you aggravated by the circumstances around you? How often do you feel victimized by what is coming at you? Are you able to keep the vertical, the centrifugal vortex of consciousness going? Are you able to rise above what appears to be 3D life and maintain the vortex of awareness and consciousness? It is something we all can train, and time, incarnations, will teach us how to retain that vortex, that gravitational field, that center that creates gravity and pulls all things into its orbit and amasses the etheric into form. So, a sign of an older soul is a soul that is capable of manifesting with greater ease, has already manifested the fundamental laws, understood the fundamental laws of nature. With consciousness, which you can learn to spin, you can identify your identity with the source of all that is and feel that connection increasingly so until it becomes one. So the signs of an older soul are that you're capable of creating harmony around you or forgiving and understanding even when things aren't going as well as you might personally want in other people's lives or whatever people put at you. A sign of an older soul is that you are able to create a vortex, a spiral of consciousness that descends and embraces and hovers around what we would call 3D reality. You can therefore embody a greater dimension of time space. The higher your seat of the soul is, the greater the umbrella, the greater the embrace of greater time space. So, a good question to you is to ask, are you sensing the past and the future as part of you now? Is your greater sense of now a being that has been in the past and will be in the future and possibly is incarnated in both or has forms of incarnations in both and is centered in the now and centered into the connection with the source, because that is which is looking through all of us into form, but yet each individual perceptor, you, I, create vortexes that maintain the spin even after we leave our physical body. So when we are older, we have a greater vortex, we have a greater spin. And when we meet others who have an equal amount of greater spin, we can connect the two and create a great vortexal opening into the unity field, into the unified whole, and access greater spaces of oneness feeling. Then we can individually access. Greater and more mature souls are capable of maintaining their own spin and deliberately placing it at a distance or into and with another being and create a greater whole. So if you have these hallmarks, then you are on the way to becoming or in being an awakened greater older soul. And it is your job to help others awaken their power to co-create beauty and harmony on this planet, and to remember that they are the source code itself, refracting back to itself, that what is looking at you is itself looking back at itself. If you are a younger soul and you still feel at odds and at whim of whatever is coming at you, no despair. We all are younger than some and older than some. We never are the perfected, all the sublime everything. We always are the part of the whole. And when we are feeling younger, then it is good to listen and to learn and to learn from whoever has gone before us through the steps of maturation. And if you feel attracted to the presence of whatever it is that I'm sharing with you right now, I suggest you read my book, Dolphins, Love, and Destiny: The Journey to the Soul, Yoga of the Soul. And in my books, I describe techniques of ascending into soul consciousness and the power of love that you can generate when two souls merge into one. I invite you on a journey to deepen your electromagnetic spin, your gravitational spin over time through courses that we can, where we can practice the power of focusing our minds to where we create a greater spin. We can do it intentionally and focusedly, or we can do it haphazardly and go through life and the schools of hard knocks. One way or the other, we are going to learn to be a greater channel for light and a greater channel for love, and learn to transmute the love and the light into this dimension until it becomes as mutable as light and clouds, and you are the master in the center of your creation. Thank you very much for being here, and I hope to see you in one of my classes. Namaste.